This is my E-Flite Cherokee 1.3 meter wingspan general aviation RC airplane. It's one of my favorite RC airplanes in all categories. I think it's a good size and this one flies fantastic, so let's go outside and do a nice flight on the Cherokee. Almost no wind today. I'm doing this flight on a 4S 2200 milliamp battery. I usually set a timer for 5 minutes. And on my Cherokee then I replaced the speed controller, so I have a 60 amp AVN, so I have all the telemetry functions then, read out battery levels and such. And I have an AR637T receiver inside. And this one just flies excellent with flaps. Just as long as you don't have any crazy wind, it handles just great. You can do this kind of slow and controlled flight. You can even do touch and goes with the tricycle gear, because the nose wheel will have a spring mechanism, so it's dampened. This is a nice scale looking RC airplane with LED lights, flaps, the features you want. You more or less just can do whatever you like with this one. If you just want to fly slow and docile, touch and goes, I mean, if that's your thing, surely we'll do it. Or if you just want to start pushing it, it's really good power on 4S. That's excellent inverted flying with great authority on the elevator, so you don't have to worry about running out of elevator authority. Just go around and do some crazy flying. That's a really great thing about some RC airplanes, then, that they can, if you like scale, I mean, just do it. If you want to do more agile flying, do that instead. So have an RC airplane that can do it all. It's just fantastic. Now, I also think that the most RC airplanes these days, at least in this size, like 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, I mean, they're really able. So there are more or less minor differences in features, in how they fly. This flight is also on a APC 12x6 prop. So I've done some experimenting on different props, and this one I think is a good replacement then for the stock prop. Now I still have a stock prop, I haven't broken it or anything, but I think that in general the APC thin electric propellers have a really nice sound to them, and a really great performance. And when you push this plane, I mean, it draws something like 60 amps, so it's a kind of a power-hungry plane if you push it, but if you go docile, you can fly for a really long time. You can also fly this on a 3S battery, of course, with less oomph and performance, but it's still possible. I like to do this really low and slow flying, just crawling around. Touch and go then. You can experience some bouncing, but I think that these landing gears are more forgiving than the landing gears then on the E-Flite Cirrus 1.5, because the Cirrus landing gears are super stiff, and this one at least have some give to the nose gear then. So like if I push it there, I like 54 amps.
51 amps, 53 Celsius, ESC 13.9 volts, 30.
So I mean, if you just go quite docile, I think you will just do like 20 or 30 amps, but when you push it and do like snap rolls and such, it really gets near 60 amps. So it does feature a really wide flight envelope, everything from like this slow docile and up to speedy and aerobatic. I mean, some planes doing this, they would just dip a wing. I think if I would have been doing this with the E-Flite Twin Otter, then chances are it will dip because it doesn't feature a thick wing chord. It's a kind of slender wing. This one, on the other hand, has a really thick wing chord, so great lift. Let's get this one down then. Drops a little bit. I mean, when you're flying so many times, sometimes you get a little bit sloppy, but let's try to make a better landing this time then. Much better. A really fantastic RSI plane. A bit bumpy on the ground, as you can see. Great to fly this one. I did this flight with a 12x6 prop instead of the stock prop then, and I still have some sort of kind of vibration when I just pushed the RSI plane, and it was the same with the stock prop then. I think it's less now with this APC, because I think that most of these thin electric APC propellers then, they have a really nice tip to them, so they are efficient and they sound better than the stock prop then. So I mean, I'm flying mine then with a 60 amp speed controller inside, and I just replaced a few parts, like I have an AR637T receiver inside. But I think that this is so fantastically flying. It's a really thick wing chord, nice wing, really square, and a great lift from it. So usually I'm just having a great time every time I fly this one. It's difficult to pick a favorite, but when it comes to the general aviation class, I think this surely is number one or number two in a low wing configuration.